And I bet you that wine, despite the price, will age quite well, because the acid means it'll hold on to what it's got. But it's pleasant now. It's not terrifically expensive, and a nice change from these big oaky numbers.
Color's fine. Nothing wrong. Smells good. I get almost a citrusy nose.
There's nothing so subjective as taste.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I find that very pleasant. Again, I would think of it more as an aperitif wine. I don't know what I'd eat that with, but I would certainly have, or drink it with, but I would certainly have no problem using that as an aperitif. I would say definitely a buy.
And for me, it's simple, but it's a buy at the money. Now, what about the red? Same price, more or less, isn't it?
In the same price range, yes. The Conde de Valdemar is a Rioja wine, but it is not in the Rioja style at all. And I even wrote something about this wine recently. I found it very pleasant, very attractive, light, not a big, serious Rioja wine. Although, from what I understand, the grapes are pretty much the same. The Tempranillo, once again, the ubiquitous Tempranillo. But it's more of the Beaujolais style, the
Spanish Beaujolais.
Spanish Beaujolais. And I got a letter from a friend of mine who was a great proponent of Spanish wines. He's lived in Spain. And he said that I was subverting all the things that are happening, the wonderful things that are happening in Rioja by praising this wine. I don't think so. I think it's a special style of wine. These people are trying something new. And they've come up with, what to me, at that point, now, this, and I was talking about 93. This is a 91.
Yeah, it's quite long in the tooth, isn't it, for that
yes,
price?
Yes, for that
You're
sort of thing.
4-year-old wine.
And, but see, there is a sort of a Beaujolais color to it. It's not dense. You can see it's a light-colored wine. And it still has that sort of youthful color to it.
See, I think Rioja lost its way. Rioja lost touch with what it was trying to do. Rioja lost touch with what Rioja style was. And maybe that's what your friends are reflecting, that everyone's got to stick to the same line.
Sort of like the one that we had, that heavy, oaky flavor that you get from even from the wines from the Duero.
Same style?
No, it is. I mean, it's the same style as the other one that I had, the same wine, a little older, a little darker, but. And you might say that was a Spanish wine. You would not immediately recognize that, I don't think, as a Rioja wine.
Well,
try it and see.
Yeah, everything you say makes me a little dubious about it, because I do wonder what the point of making a Beaujolais in Spain is, really. It's difficult enough to sell French Beaujolais, let alone Spanish Beaujolais. But it's got a nice colour, showing a bit of age. Oh, no, I think that's deadly dull, myself.
It's not as fresh as the other one, or the younger one that I had. But I kind of like it.
It's got a sort of slight sweetness on the palate, and that's about it. But I can't get much on the nose.
I might chill out a little, the way I would a Beaujolais.
But then you'd be left with a slightly heavy, slight astringency. It would bring out that little oaky edge.
No,
and I
perhaps.
think you'd be left with an unbalanced wine myself.
No, I think I like the idea of them trying different things in that area, and I like a different type of Spanish wine. No.
Champagne?
No, I would, I'm going to say that I would, that's a buy for me.
That's a definite pass for me.
Okay.
She's a famous lady chef who cooks the cordon bleu. She has a cooking style which is still in today. She was the top chef in her class. And now you can see all the classic shows. What a blast. Watch Julia in her hit parade. And you can learn how to cook the Julia way. Watch Julia in her hit parade. And you can learn how to cook the Julia way.
Weeknights at 7:30 on the TV Food Network. If you're considering getting pregnant, many experts recommend increasing your intake of folic acid, a vitamin found in orange juice, which means by drinking orange juice, you're not just doing something healthy for yourself. 100% pure Florida orange juice. To your health.
It's the greatest thing that's happened to a sandwich since sliced bread. The one and only Vlasic Sandwich Stackers. Ham up your ham.
Wow.
Make your pikey pikey.
Wow.
Pep it up with the original Sandwich Stackers from Vlasic. The perfect pickle to stack.
Expressions of love. Cuddling. Tickling. Frosting. Betty Crocker Creamy Deluxe Frosting. When you love someone, spread it on thick. With Betty Crocker, life is sweet.
You're beautiful. Now for some coordinates. The bottom, the top, spectacular. Bird's Eye, the fresh look for vegetables.
Do you know you put your hair at risk every time you wash it? Just combing can break it.
Pantene has Pro vitamins that help keep hair strong, so it breaks less. Pantene Pro V, for hair so healthy it shines.
Strong can be beautiful.
Your heart's pounding.
It's terrifying.
And you feel hot. It's like a firing range.
We asked some of the hottest new comics on stage to switch antiperspirants and try Degree.
So you think this stuff works, huh?
As your body heat rises, Degree releases extra protection when you need it most.
I'm dry. I feel great. I feel protected. Temperature starts going up and Degree does.
Switch to the antiperspirant that's body heat activated.
Hanging out on stage, that was my friend. I'm cool. I've got Degree.
Degree antiperspirant for an extra degree of protection.
Just checking, you know?
What can you cook in 20 minutes?
I'm going to make a plum rice.
Okay.
Find out when two world-class chefs team up with two willing contestants on Ready, Set, Cook. Every night at 8 Eastern, 9 Pacific on the TV Food Network.
Welcome back to Grape Expectations. Our second category is special wines. A wine for that special occasion or special someone. $10 to $25. Our special wine today is Chateau Carbonier Grand Vin de Graves, 1992. Suggested retail price, $12.95.
Before we come on to the wine, Frank, tell
Yes.
me, what is this little red ribbon?
Ah, yes. Oh, I thought you'd never ask. That is represents the Legion of Honor. Actually, you have a very handsome medal in a red box, which has the initials RF on it, République de France.
So it's a French honor.
It's a French honor, yes, which I got in 1979, presumably for services to French wine. They never really tell you.
Wasn't it just after you wrote that article in the New York Times saying all California wines are too alcoholic, too oaky, and what they should be doing is making French-style wines?
No, I don't think so. It was just apparently over a period of time, you were recommended by the ambassador of the country. What the process is, all I know is a man called me up from the embassy and he said, have you ever been convicted of a crime? A major
you kept
crime.
quiet about those
I didn't say anything about my crimes. And I said, why? He said, we're going to give you some kind of an award. And the next day he called back and he said, I have to ask you a few more questions because they're going to give you the big one. And I said, well, what's that? And he told me it was the Legion of Honor. And in fact, he asked more questions. And it took almost a year before we had a ceremony at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Paris. And both myself and my boss in our bureau in Paris in those days, Flora Lewis, were both given the Legion of Honor in this grand ceremony.
Great.
By in the last days of the Giscard d'Estaing administration. And what you do is you wear the little ribbon. And then every so often, if you're lucky, somebody like you says, what is that little ribbon? But that's what it is, anyway.
And is that the same one as the American wine writer Robert Parker had?
No. Bob has a blue ribbon, which is the Order of Merit. I think his is the Ordre de Mérite Agricole. And they give the Order of Merit in various arts et métiers for people who great shoemakers or make scarves or whatever, and in whatever area. There's lots of them. There are lots of those.
I got the picture. It's not as good as that one, then.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely.
Well, this is a French one. What did you drink when they gave you the honor?
Oh, well, the foreign minister, we had it in the reception room at the Quai d'Orsay, and we drank champagne and scotch.
Well, yes, you wouldn't probably drink this wine because the French don't believe in drinking wine without food, do they? Unless it's
very
champagne.
rarely, yeah.
This is a white wine from Bordeaux designed to be drunk with food. And for me, dry white Bordeaux has to be either very good value, which this is very inexpensive. This is, what, $13 or so, 14. Or it has to be really quite old and have been made very, very well. And because I think these white wines of the Grape, which are the best dry white Bordeaux, need time to show their paces. They age them in oak, and they can be horribly sort of gangly and big and oaky in youth, and they have to be really good and have molded and melded together.
There were a lot of changes in the way they make these wines in recent years, because they've had a lot of trouble with selling them. And this young enologist, Dubourdieu, I can't remember his first name, but he supposedly has created a revolution in white wine making in the Grape.
On the other hand, if everybody ends up making the same style of wine, that's maybe not such a good thing.
Right.
Well, let's see. Let's see. Quite a pale colour. They've renamed the smart area of Grape Pessac-Léognan after the two most famous villages in it, so that's why you see the word
This
Grape
is south of Bordeaux.
Yeah.
Huge white wine, sort of red and white, but...
Well, it's kind of... a lot of Sauvignon in here and a bit of Semillon, mainly Sauvignon, I guess, from the nose. It's certainly quite a muted nose, maybe a bit cold. Of course, the warmer you serve a white wine, the more smell messages will escape from it. So it may be not the wine's fault, but I'm not smelling very much. Definitely a little bit of oak there. It's not a style I like. It's, you know, quite simple fruit with plus some oak kind of latched onto it. At the moment, it's a kind of young, gangly teenager of a wine. Not very thrilling.
I always feel guilty
Mind
about...
you, young, gangly teenagers aren't always unthrilling, but no, that's not a very thrilling teenager to me.
I always feel guilty about these wines because some of them are very nice and I never think to buy them. They just don't fit into any...
I feel guilty about these wines because I rubbish them all the time.
Oh, wow. It smells nice. I like that nose.
It's simple. It's too simple for $13, I think.
Well, being a strong proponent of the ABC theory of anything but Chardonnay, I'm always happy to find a wine that comes along that I find it would make a nice white wine. I could think of a lot of things that would go good. No, I like that wine. It's not a great one. It's not the Haut-Brion Blanc or Domaine de Chevalier or even Margot's, what are they called? Pavillon?
Pavillon Blanc.
Yeah, I mean, those are absolutely superior wines in this style. It's not one of those. And yet, I think I find this an attractive wine, and I would say very definitely I would buy this, even at $13.
And I'd say it's just too watery for the money for me, so I would pass.
Well, we've been partners for a long time.
Combined, we have 40 years of experience in the kitchen. We'll bounce ideas off of each other, and then we'll get in the kitchen and we'll start playing with it, and she'll say, well, I think it could use this, and I'll think, oh, yuck, I think that would be horrible. You want the red or the green?
Green, definitely.
No, I want the green.
No.
Well, my cooking is much better than Susan's.
I've taught her everything she knows.
Two Hot Tamales with Susan Feniger and Mary Sue Milligan every night at 9:30 on the TV Food Network.
It's catchphrase. It's on your laundry.
Santa Claus?
No, it's in your belly button. The game of fast passing and fast guessing. You split it after Thanksgiving.
My pants.
No, from the turkey. You break it. What's more? You want to think fast? Give me that. What vampires drink?
Blood.
And move even faster. You save every penny you're...
A penny pincher.
No, you hate spending money, like Stanley. Because you don't want to get caught. See? Catchphrase. Pass it on. Keep up.
See up there. Fine, huh?
Oh, God. Hey, Mom.
Did you leave any dirt out there?
Hey, I'm thirsty.
Yeah, what you got? Okay, listen up. We got some purple stuff, OJ, soda.
Yeah, I'll take one.
Oh, yeah.
Tastes like orange tangerine and lime.
Some healthy junk, too. Sunny D to go. All right.
Sunny Delight, the good stuff kids go for.
If you love country music, your favorite country artists want to hear from you, because now you can get your own cool country visa. Call 1-800-585-4801 now and apply for the Visa card featuring the country music star of your choice. Alan Jackson.
Well, way down yonder on the Chattahoochee, it gets hotter than a hoochie coochie.
Brooks and Dunn.
I'm a hard-working man. I wear a steel hard hat.
Plus, Reba. Travis Tritt. Tracy Lawrence. Billy Ray Cyrus. Patty Loveless. Lori Morgan. Sammy Kershaw. And George Jones. You can't get these Visa cards anywhere else, so come on and show how much you like your favorite country music star. Call 1-800-585-4801 now and put some real star power in your wallet.
That's right.
Cool Country Visa.
Welcome back to Grape Expectations. Our last category is dream wines. Wines we'd like to taste at least once in a lifetime. Price? The sky's the limit. Our dream wine today is Niebaum Coppola Rubicon, 1981. Suggested retail price, $34.95.
$34.95 is actually not too bad a price for a wine of this caliber, in my opinion. He has made, this of course is the Coppola in Niebaum. Coppola is Francis Ford Coppola, and a lot of people will say that this is the wine that Apocalypse Now actually brought into being. Francis Ford Coppola actually he cuts film, he has a studio as part of the property here, but that's not to say this isn't a very, very serious wine operation. This is a blend, it changes from year to year. It's basically Merlot and Cabernet, and it has...
And Cabernet Franc as well is a
there's
big
Cabernet
ingredient.
Franc.
Yeah.
Since the very beginning, it has had very high reputation. One of the reasons, of course, is that he keeps this wine for 7 years before it's released. And in fact, the 81 is probably only one of, let's see, 81, 88, maybe only the second vintage back since from this time. But it has, over the years, been a really beautiful wine. Now he's got a restaurant where he sells it
called Rubicon.
Called Rubicon, exactly.
I think it's just a beautiful property, isn't it?
It's a
I mean,
lovely
it's my idea of heaven. Not one of these brand new palaces that people have built in Napa Valley, but a historic homestead.
Well, Niebaum himself, of course, was a Finnish sea captain who created Inglenook. And some of Inglenook went to John Daniel, and some of that is now part of Christian Moex's operation. The Dominus wines come out of that. And the bulk of it, however, is part of the old Niebaum estate. And just recently, Mr. Coppola bought the winery itself. He had the home. Now he has the whole winery, which is an absolutely magnificent building. Let's just see what we have.
We recently went filming there. And of course,
this is your BBC series.
Big series all around the world. And the film crew practically froze when they had to film Francis Ford Coppola. You know, everyone was so nervous. But he cooked supper for us afterwards.
And he's
very mean spaghetti.
Very low-key, nice guy
very
to deal
nice.
with.
Very, very nice.
Well, that's a beautifully colored wine. It's got depth. It's got a nice garnet color for a wine that is now already 14 years old. It's still very attractive. And great. Every so often you get a California wine which really has... doesn't have that heavy eucalyptus. This is much more elegant.
This is the equivalent of a Bordeaux Chateau in California, isn't it? It is a set property, and the grapes only come from that property, old vines. I think it's exactly what people in Napa Valley ought to be doing.
It's an estate wine. It is, and I find it very attractive. It's got depth, and it's got a long, long finish. Still lots of tannin in it. Well balanced, even so. And it's a wine that's going to last for a long, long time. And it's very attractive right now.
Well, I can't wait to get my hands on it. Let's see. There we go. And as you say, a lovely colour. Gorgeous. And actually nice to have these big glasses to swirl it around in. That is Napa Valley to me. It's got a warmth, and it's got a dust, and it's got some... You can just imagine, it's actually something a bit like the Grave, these kind of warm bricks kind of smell. Lovely balance. It's not kind of hit you with the alcohol.
But those tannins are going to smooth out even more. over the next 10 years.
It's a really confident wine, that, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And the flavour goes on and on and on.
At $35, given what's happening now, you see wineries, well, what's Al Braunstein's Diamond Creek now selling for $200 a bottle for his Lake Vineyard, which he only makes every 10 years or something like that, every 7 years. But Caymus, their top of the line now is over is about $100, and their Warren Winiarski at Stag's Leap is about $75.
This is actually reasonable for I think, such a well-made wine.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing that the place, they make the wine in the same place as you say. They have the studio, the cutting room, and there's only this sort of one glass door between the two, and you've got these two completely different cultures going on in the same building, in the ancient coach house there. And you can just sort of feel all the sort of mutually beneficial creative tension going on. It's great. Apparently all the film people are fascinated by the wine people, and the wine people are fascinated by the film people. I'm
just hoping that he continues to make good films so they can continue to hang on to and improve Niebaum Coppola.
Well, you know how everyone in Napa Valley has been bitten by this terrible bug, the phylloxera louse, that's eating its way through all their vines?
Yes.
Apparently, he claims responsibility for saving this property from using the rootstock that was responsible. He said, no, don't use that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, I certainly think that for me, especially at this price, this is a definite buy.
Absolutely. For once, $35 doesn't seem like really exorbitant, and I'd say absolutely a buy.
To recap our verdicts, the Chateau de Montfort-Vouvray 1993 was a buy for Frank and a buy for Jancis. The Condé de Valdemar Rioja 1991 was a buy for Frank and a pass for Jancis. The Chateau Carbonier Grand Vin de Grave 1992 was a buy for Frank and a pass for Jancis. And the Niebaum Coppola Rubicon 1981 was a buy for Frank and a buy for Jancis.